Good morning, afternoon, evening, everybody, whatever it is. Welcome. I'm just doing a quick Alfredo today, so we might as well get right to it. Doing chicken Alfredo, so here's what's going on. Not a whole lot. It's a very easy meal. Just have some chicken to whip up. I'm gonna bake the chicken, cook some pasta, and make a quick Alfredo. If you don't know how, follow along. It's pretty easy. First thing I'm going to do is start my oven at 400 to bake and wash my hands. I put down tinfoil. Hello, Nixtopia. Thank you for hanging out with me. I know you're keeping still and ho company. Like I said, this should be really quick. A chicken Alfredo is like 30 minutes, so I just figured get this done. I meant to do it yesterday. I was going to show someone else how to make this and not stream it, but they bailed on me, so instead I'll make it for you guys and it'll be delicious. So thank you for hanging out. I know the lighting's a little off. My kitchen's weird and it's daylight out, which is also weird. Go figure. Chicken's fully defrosted. Inspire, you need to cook some later. Yeah, I'm like super copping out with a lot of this, but again, if you're looking for a pretty inexpensive meal, this is a good one. So I'm doing a fully Italian flavor. Normally I put taco seasoning on, but it should be fine. Ooh, I have zesty Italian or regular. We'll just do regular Italian. So this is Italian dressing mix that we're using. But this is the easiest thing. Like, I wish I knew this when I was younger. But it was so easy and delicious to bake chicken. I'm just always so used to chicken being really dry and disgusting. I can slide this over. So I just put the tin foil down or aluminum foil so that I have less cleanup later because I'm lazy. Olive oil. I'm being generous because I don't care if it burns onto the tin foil. It should be fairly well mixed, yeah. And this already has my salt content and my peppers, so I don't have to worry as much. But this gives a really good crust on baked chicken, so I really recommend doing this. Like pre-made spices, so good. If I wanted, hello Charlie, thank you for hanging out. A lot of times I'll butterfly the chicken because I want more seasoning and less chicken. But not today. I didn't feel like it today. Same thing. Olive oil. I use extra virgin olive oil, my preference. cat, the chicken is not for you. This is my chicken. I don't know, I don't think you can hear her, but she's on the floor meowing for some chicken. The brat got into my eggs last night. I thought it would be fine, but so I left him out while I was playing games and talking with people and doing all the other stuff. No. She got up on the counter, which you know she's not supposed to do, and she ate the bacon off the top. So I'm glad I made so much, because one whole batch is now no good. I'm just trying to make sure it's all fully coated, because that's important to me. Get a nice, good coating and crust on top. Oop, spot. Just make sure it's nice and delicious. Alright, so I can set that aside until the oven's ready. Wash my hands, and yeah, the cat is definitely after your heart, Charlie. Get my water boiling. Quality content, listen to me fill up water. I know. I know. So I'm doing a pretty large batch. I'm doing a whole box of pasta, which is about a pound. 16 ounces, 454 grams. It has it on here. I don't have to try and do math. Oh, that's right. I forgot. I needed to clean the oven. Oops. We're gonna open a window. I totally forgot I spilled yesterday. That's fine. It'll just make it more interesting later, right? Salt in the water. And then the actual sauce is super fast, so you can give that a few minutes. So how are you guys today? Charlie, how are you? What are you up to? Nix, when's dinner? It should be coming up, right? It's 5:30, I think. I can't believe I forgot to clean the oven. My bad. Mistakes we make. What are you gonna do? I think my favorite thing to learn over all these years about differences between America and other countries is how we sell butter. You're moving your room around? Oh, yeah. Oh. Yeah, moving the gaming setup's kind of a pain. I've lived alone most of my life, so all right. Yeah, I've lived alone most of my life now, so I'm kind of used to having to move stuff by myself. But the gaming setup's always a pain. I need to redo my setup because I got new HDMI cables. So I got shorter ones for the TV so I can run the long ones to my computer so I can multi-stream. Or not multi-stream, I can screen capture. There we go. So hopefully I'll get that done before tomorrow meets today. Ugh. Debating what to do. Make some Alfredo! It's easy, it's delicious. Yeah, once it's done, that's always nice. It's just like doing it that's kind of the pain. Alright. Oh, I need. Might as well start getting out the other stuff, even though I don't need it quite yet. Butter. Giant clove of garlic. Because we're gonna get a little fancy with this one. I don't want to get the milk or cheese out. I think just that. Slide that. Grab that one. Just so I can chop up some garlic. Oh man, you guys, my routine's so thrown off. I forgot to water my plants. We'll do that real fast. I should post a picture for you guys of my plant setup because it's so lazy. Myron, hello. Thank you for the lurk. I appreciate you. Just cooking up some Alfredo, that's all. Nothing crazy. I'm terrible at plants and keeping them alive. Bonti, hello. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you. So I have clay pots for my plants. Auntie, thank you so much for the bits. I appreciate you so much. Wow. Oh man. I'm not even fully awake yet. I'm on my first soda of the day. Thank you. I appreciate it. For the cooking stream. Yeah, we're doing a bonus one. If you haven't made Alfredo, it really is super easy. Ooh. I might set out the smoke alarm. Let's find out. Hopefully the windows are working. There. Alright, so there it is. I know. Just take the battery out. All better. That's what happens when you spill egg and then burn it into the oven. The next day. So yeah, that's just gonna be in there. We're gonna do 12 minutes, I think. And then I'll flip it over, just because I want to get a really good crust on the chicken. Auntie, thank you for the bits for the smoke detector. It was bound to happen. It's just, yep. Oh, I'm sorry, Charlie. I didn't mean to. It scares my cat too. Oh, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to set off the smoke alarm. That's why I opened the windows beforehand. But I have to open the oven so much in order to get that chicken in. Ugh. And that burnt egg is gonna bake into that chicken. It's fine. Fine. So yeah, I do flip the chicken over halfway. You don't typically have to. It's just something I like to do. So yeah. Oh, your volume was on loud. Oh no. Yeah, even with all of my noise suppression, that alarm is gonna come through. There is not a whole lot I can do about that. Okay, so the water's boiling, as you can see now. So we're gonna add, I don't have fettuccine, I'm just using shells. That's my go-to, if not penne, typically. And apparently I can't open this box. So like I said, it's 1 pound for us, 16 ounces, or 454 grams of pasta. So I'm cooking up a lot. Also, look how cute these are. They're mini shells. They're little cups for my Alfredo. They're adorable. Alright, so now that that's cooking, we've got these going. We're kind of on a time crunch, so we'll start chopping the garlic. I know, Killer Miller, chicken Alfredo, right? I promise you, this is super simple. So Killer, all I've done so far is I put some olive oil on my chicken. Both sides, I also put some Italian seasoning, but you can use whatever seasoning you want. You can even just use salt and pepper, or just salt. Just always salt your meat. Then I put that in the oven at 400 degrees. We're doing 12 minutes, then I'll flip it over. I'm getting a little fancy, so I'm going to do some fresh garlic. Otherwise, you can do garlic powder. And I got pasta going. So we have the main parts of the meal going. It's just the sauce. Oh, that's right. I used my knife yesterday. Actually, yeah. Fine, I'll get out the French knife. Or my Santoku. That works. That works. The tiny shells. I know, they're so cute though. So you don't want a huge bite of garlic, so I'm just gonna mince these into medallions and then I'll cut it down from there. I'm going to slice these into medallions and then I'll mince them from there. Better to go slow and steady than to rush and then cut yourself. Don't do it. And using sharp objects and being around fire, do not split your attention like I'm doing. It's not a good idea. But I think this was called elephant garlic because it's freaking huge. It's friggin' huge. No, this is garlic. I know. Isn't that crazy? Look at that. It's a friggin' huge clove of garlic. But I like garlic, so it's fine. Yeah, when I placed my order at the store, I was like, yeah, just 1 clove of garlic should be fine. And they come back with an elephant clove. King Coney, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you. Appreciate you very much. I will have to, I know I'm already following, but I'll have to stop by. I don't think I've caught one of your streams. I've watched a few of the videos. So I apologize, you guys, because I'm trying to not be on like 20 tabs at the same time all the time. But I am still going back and watching videos and checking you guys out. So even if you don't think I'm there, I actually am. I'm trying. I'm just also terrible about communicating, like, hey, I watched this video and it was really cool when this happened. I'll learn one of these days. I love garlic. Smells so good. Okay. Then I'm gonna end up using the whole stick of butter for us. And then we measure butter weird here. So we use a whole stick of butter, which is about a cup. Or we do, it's 8 tablespoons, 4 ounces, 113 grams of butter. But I just want to get a nice brown on the garlic. So I'm just going to start with a little slice to get it going. And I don't need super high heat. So with Alfredo, low and slow tends to be a little better. I don't know. Like I said, there's not a whole lot that goes into it. Oh, Mama Zug, you're fine. I didn't even think to send stuff out. So yeah, we'll just get this warming up. I probably should have warmed up my skillet first if I was thinking about it. But we have time. There's still 5 minutes on the chicken for me to flip it, then like another 10 to 12. The pasta's gonna cook fairly quickly since I'm doing small shells instead of fettuccine. But once I get the garlic started, it's really just warming up the butter. And I'll show you a good trick for that. And then warming up the milk without it curdling, and then melting in the cheese, and then you've got an Alfredo. Like I said, it's really easy. And for this kind of meal, like to have your protein, your grains, your dairy, it seriously is like a 30-minute meal if you don't mind having a couple things going at once. But it's so good. It reheats pretty well. You just have to reincorporate the butter. I don't mind it reheated where the butter separates. But that's me. So I use all the butter in the first recipe, but then I don't eat it all. And I let the butter separate after. So I probably could use a lot less butter in mine. There. So I just wanted enough fat to get the garlic a nice golden color. I don't think you're going to be able to see that. Let's try. It'll cook faster if it's not all clumped together, so that's what I'm trying to just keep it moving. I don't want the garlic to burn. Childish Coptino, thank you so much for the bits. Oh my gosh, you guys, I didn't even think anyone would show. I thought it was gonna be me and Charlie, but I feel so bad that Charlie has to keep leaving before I finish. I would like to do more of these afternoon streams. For me, it's lunchtime. I know for overseas, it's like 6 o'clock for Herrick. It's 6 o'clock for Opal in the Netherlands. It's 5 o'clock for all of my UK people. Monty, thank you guys. Aw, you're so sweet. Alright, so it's just now starting to stick to the bottom, which is fine because I kind of want it to. I'm starting to get a golden brown, but I'm going to keep cooking the garlic so I can add the rest of my butter. Now, there's a sweet spot for butter where it turns brown, but you don't want it to burn. Aww, Fonty, you're so sweet. Fonty, did you have a good birthday? I know I couldn't be there for your full stream and I felt bad. I don't know. You can kind of see, like, there's the brown bits on here from the garlic, so I'm just using the butter to kind of help get those up. And the garlic's starting to get a really nice golden. You want the butter to be bubbling like this because it's going to give it a really good flavor. It's a nice lightness. When normally, I don't know, for me, butter is a very heavy feeling kind of taste. If that makes sense. I know my colors aren't great on this camera, but I can get better angles. So we're working on it. We're figuring it out. Oh, thank you so much for the follow, Teeted King. Aw, I appreciate you. Typically, I play games, but we're also doing some cooking. All right, so we got a good golden on that. I'm gonna turn my heat down a little bit because I don't want it too hot when I add the milk. Because again, you don't want it to curdle. Some recipes call for milk, some recipes call for cream. Depending on what you're doing, you can add cream cheese, sour cream, just some sort of dairy, about 1.5 cups. Which, let's see. That's ounces. No, I need this cup. I don't know. Something in milliliters. Alright, so let me get some milk in and then I'll put the chicken. Just so that I can get that warming up. You don't have to use a measuring cup. Like, normally I just do this. Might have been a little too hot still. Fortunately, I'm using oat milk, so it's not going to curdle like normal milk. But you're adding moisture into the fat, so that's why you're going to get that. All right, flip the chicken. You know, my handy and tongs. Not set off the smoke detector for a second time because it's unplugged. So I'm just doing a quick flip over and then I'm noticing the oil is kind of pulling to one side because my cooking sheet is distorted. It was cheap. So I'm just going to turn that around to make sure I get a nice even cook on everything. I don't want one breast to be overcooked and one side to be undercooked. There. And then we'll check that in 10 minutes, I think. Bring that chicken, my body's ready. Right? Oh yeah, a good stick of butter. And then you just add cheese. So normally I'll add pepper jack or Mexican cheese. I think today we'll just go straight mozzarella. Yeah, we'll put some Mexican in there. We'll get a little fancy. So it's like 2 cups of cheese or 32 ounces, which is something in metric. I don't know. I'm trying, you guys. I'm trying. See, that was 1 cup. Okay, I don't want this boiling. That's gonna cause issues. Because we don't want to, again, have anything curdle. Hello, sweet cheeks. How are you? I appreciate you. My pasta's just about done, so I'm going to turn that off. And this, you just want to let it incorporate. So again, I browned my butter, which is why it's looking way more brown than white. And I let the garlic brown. So this version is not going to look like your traditional. It's not going to look the most appetizing. But believe me, it's delicious. I promise you. If you need to use pre-shredded cheese, go for it. It's a little better if you don't, if you get your own cheese and shred it, because there's anticoagulants in the pre-shredded, which just, I mean, it's fine. It'll still work. It just can get a little fussy, and we don't like fussy. You're so hungry. Oh no, sweet cheeks, this is the wrong channel for you if you're hungry right now. I think that Alfredo is the first thing I learned back, because we had home ec when I was in school. That's how long ago it was. So we learned Alfredo. And again, it's really easy. So simple. So I'm just, my comfort zone is gonna be pasta and sauce. With a roux, yes. This one is an American style. So with a roux, you do a little bit of flour with the butter, and then that's gonna make it a nice kind of thick sauce that you're used to. Like I said, this is just kind of like your lazy version of what Americans are gonna do, because typically Alfredo doesn't call for cream. It's cheese, but you use pasta water and then butter and flour. So you're making your roux. I mean, we can still, since I'm adding a little more liquid. But it's actually the pasta water that gives it that creaminess. It's just here in the States, we end up using cream, heavy cream. FN, hello. So since I added a little more liquid, I just added more cheese, because to me, you can't have too much cheese. It's whatever you want it to be. You're cooking for you. You're cooking for a family, then it might be a little bit. Not for me. But yeah, homemade Alfredo is just butter, pasta, cheese, milk. If you don't have milk, that's fine. Use pasta water. That's what it's supposed to be anyway. You might want to add in a smidge of flour with the butter when you're browning it. And you don't even have to brown it, like just microwave it. It's fine. There. So again, I'm just making sure this isn't bubbling a little too high still. So I can drain my pasta. And I know that I had those brown bits of garlic on the bottom, so I'm trying to make sure that's all. Let's see. Instead of flour, you can just use the pasta water, and that thickens it up very nicely. So I'll drain the pasta. And then there tend to be two different camps. There's the camp that says you put the sauce over the pasta on plating, and then there's my camp where I just throw it all in. I'd be going to sleep right after this meal. Hey, that's my plan. Gonna have some lunch, and then I'll go back to bed because I did not sleep well. So I'll slide this over because I'm just gonna mix it all together. So just loop. Pour that right on. And then I don't know if you could see earlier, but there was a bunch of like brown stuck on spots. I got rid of all of those just by fully mixing with my spoon. And that's just if you're doing the garlic, or if you're doing onions or other types of things. 2 minutes. Yeah, this timed out quite right. Give that a stir. Gonna keep thickening up as it cools. See? Ooh. Delicious. Delicious. I know, I'm getting hungry making this. So yeah, Charlie, again, you're not being thick. There are ways to make it with a roux. A roux is just adding some flour to the butter. So I think for 1 stick of butter, it's like a teaspoon of flour. Could be wrong, but it's really not a lot. Another thickener is cornstarch. That's what's used in a lot of Asian dishes, which gives it that really nice glossy color. Or again, just use the pasta water. So a roux is more of a French take on the Italian dish. American is we just are lazy, we use milk. And traditional Italian is just pasta water, cheese, and butter. If yours goes sticky, you might be adding too much cheese. Like, I like to have a bit of a cheese pull. I don't rinse my pasta, but that could be another thing. Like, if you want a runnier sauce on the pasta as opposed to it like really sticking to the pasta, rinse the pasta. With my Kraft mac and cheese, yeah, the boxed Kraft mac and cheese, I will do a quick rinse just because otherwise you don't really get a sauce, you get cheese covered noodles, if that makes sense. Clear space. So yeah, you end up just getting like cheese covered noodles. And at that point, that's not so great. So I will do a very quick rinse. I don't do a fully rinse, just a little bit. Yeah. Look at that chicken. Oh, if you guys could smell that. So good. So again, I normally do a taco take on this. So I do taco seasoning. I do more Mexican cheese. I add some more seasoning in this. This is my first time making it Italian version. But rookie mistake. Rookie mistake. Don't cut your meat. If you can't handle it, like with your bare hands, don't cut it. You're gonna lose all your juices. So you have to let it rest for about 5 minutes, give or take. Then you can cut your meat. Otherwise, it's just such a waste. So while that rests, I can clean up a little bit. The person who I recommended this to kept saying that the chicken was always dry, and I was like, well, yeah, if you're cooking on the stove and you're pre-cutting the meat, like if you're not doing a sear like you do with steak, you could lose a lot of your moisture. But especially even if you sear it and you take it off and you immediately cut it, no, oh, it drives me crazy. All those juices going onto the cutting board, I'm like, no, that's why your meat's dry, stop. But yeah, I do a Mexican chicken Alfredo type thing. Sometimes I'll do it with beef. Actually really good if you do ground beef. And mix that right in with this. But again, it's use what you have, like depending on what seasonings. Again, you don't even have to. You can just salt the chicken. I would recommend a little bit of cracked pepper, but always salt the meat. Like, it's only from watching actual professional chefs. So the rookie mistakes that I see, like on all of these home cooks go pro type thing, I watched a lot of Food Network. It's just they didn't pre-salt their meat. So that's another thing, is the salt adds a barrier so that the moisture stays. So when I opened up my oven, there wasn't like a big cloud of smoke, which is moisture. So the salt helps create the barrier. So that's why I checked my spices, since I'm using pre-made mixes, to make sure there's salt. Otherwise, make sure there's salt. There's a really good recipe for fish that I've never done, but you cover the entire thing in about a 1/2 inch layer of salt. And I mean, you don't eat the salt, you then take the salt off afterwards because you're using rock salt, but it makes the fish so tender and flaky and juicy because the salt creates a barrier so that all the moisture goes back in to the fish. I don't know. I just listen when people talk. That's all. It's nothing crazy. So the meat, I don't know what this is in Celsius. It's supposed to be 129 Fahrenheit, which we're good. We did that. But that's why I'm saying, like, give it a few minutes to cool down. As it cools, those juices are also cooling, so they're going to remain in the meat. Whereas if you cut it and it's steamy, yeah, it looks cool, but it's not going to taste as good. So you just have to have a couple minutes of patience. Not my strong suit. And then you can eat it. I don't want to melt my cutting board. So you can see, still nice and juicy. I'm also giving it time to pick up any extra olive oil, any extra seasoning that it's been sitting in. Flip. That's still pretty steamy, so I don't want to cut it just yet. Looks so good. It looks so good. There's the shells and cheese. let that cool a little bit. I'm gonna want to take a bite. But if you do it right, you shouldn't need salt and pepper at the table. I know I like more salt than my family members, but if it's balanced right, you shouldn't need that extra. So that's how you can tell like a good restaurant from a bad one. If it comes out and you need to add table salt, like Applebee's, or I don't know, a bunch of them, they didn't season it correctly. But then I've gone to some really nice restaurants that aren't all that expensive in comparison. And it's perfect. I don't need to add salt. I don't need to add pepper. I can't actually think of anything to add because they balance their spices. So this one's my biggest, which means it's going to take the longest to rest. So I'm just going to give that a little bit longer. This one's been sitting in oil the most, so I think this is going to be the first one to cut. But even if you just did the baked chicken, when you cut this up, like, sure, you can have a meal right there. For me, like, half a slice is going to be plenty for a meal. Which means I have 5 more meals. And then I can do over rice. I can do in a salad. I can do chicken tacos. Like, just doing the baked chicken part is so good and easy, delicious. And then of course pasta is super simple, so like I don't have to mix these completely, and I probably won't. I'll probably keep the chicken separate. Yeah, that burner's still a little warm, so I'm gonna have to stay over here. And then when you're cutting the meat, again, you want to cut on the bias. So if you think of the chicken breast here, the bias is going to be diagonal. If you want to do a restaurant cut, then you also tilt the knife. So instead of being straight up and down, you tilt that at a diagonal as well. A little fancier of a cut. If you're not comfortable doing it, then don't. There. I don't know if my camera's going to focus. Come on, buddy. There. A little better. So there's no pink. I can handle it. Seasoning's good. That is still pretty warm. But even if you don't have like Italian seasoning, this Italian seasoning is meant for Italian dressing. So you could just coat your chicken in Italian dressing. I might let it sit overnight and then bake it. Otherwise, you're gonna smoke your house out like I tried to do earlier. Chicken's too tender, it's falling apart as I'm trying to cut it. Ow, it's hot. Delicious though. Again, for me, like I said, half a breast is going to be plenty. My plating needs work. Help me. I screwed up my plating. Okay. That over. Maybe this side. Here. Okay. So it's still looking a little bland. So for plating, which is what I'm still learning. Hello, Jess. I'm sorry. I'm licking my fingers because it's delicious. So even still, you can see the juices I lost, which means I still cut it a little too early for the center here. So I'm just going to make sure this sits longer. But that's what you get for being impatient. You lose your juiciness. It's still going to be juicy and tender, just not as juicy and tender. All right. So we need to add some color. Hello, Stelly. So I have green onion. You could also do oregano. I mean, even mint would be fine with this. I just always go green onion because I can. Let's see if I can get the camera to focus for you. So it helps to just have some freshness in there, a pop of color. The oregano, like I said, would be good. I have fresh oregano, rosemary, thyme, bay, basil, just something. Whatever you like, put it on there. That's the whole point. So we're at 45 minutes right now and eating. That's how quick and easy this meal is. Grab a bite of chicken. Oh, I didn't take a picture. No! I keep forgetting. I get so excited to eat, you guys. Every time. There. Okay, now I can eat. Stupid Instagram, social media, picture crap. Mm-hmm. So I like when the meat gets that nice crust on the outside, especially the ends of the chicken, because those get more dried out. So for something that's pretty mushy, I mean, it's pasta with cheese, having that little bit of crunch, really nice. But you can also add like onion straws, potato chips, Doritos, like, do it up. But that freshly roasted garlic, that brown butter. Oh, it's so good, you guys. I wish I could share it with all of you because I'm very proud of how this turned out. Rocket League, yes, just. So we'll go over beginning to end again because I know a lot of people came in later. Super simple. I just took the chicken breast out of the package, coated it in olive oil, both sides, 1 packet of seasoning. So I used Italian seasoning on this one. You could also do taco seasoning, whatever seasoning you like. You could just do salt and pepper if you don't have any. Put it in the oven for 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 12 minutes. Then I flipped it over for another 10. I have a convection oven. So if you don't, I'd probably say another 12 to 14 minutes. I did rotate just because I was having pooling on one side and I wanted to make sure the oil drained to the other. Oil pasta, pretty straightforward. And then for the sauce, I did chop some garlic. I let that brown in some butter. Then I fully cooked it with a full stick, so half a cup of butter, 2 cups of cheese, to 1.5 cups of milk. Good to go. If you have more seasoning, you can add that, but you don't have to. And then I just topped it with some green, just to give it some color. Ooh, you get the new apartment? That'll be good fun to you. Yeah, I know your current situation's kind of crappy. Oh, look at all this food, you guys. That's 1 pound of pasta. Pound and a half of chicken. Oh, and it's so good. So again, when this reheats, the butter is going to separate. So you just kind of mix that back in. Or don't for a lower calorie option. I used mozzarella cheese and some Mexican cheese. Typically it calls for Parmesan. Use whatever you like. I spoke to an attorney, that's good. Hopefully that helps. Get everything sorted sooner rather than later, because I know it's been stressing you out. I feel like that's the understatement of a century. It's been stressing you out just a little. Yeah, I need to learn better ways to handle my own stress. I mean, I was telling Stelly and Nyx and JJ earlier that I'm going back to sleep after this meal because I get so nervous when I have to wake up at a certain time and I have to set an alarm that I sleep terribly. So I'm pretty tired because I wanted to make sure I was awake by noon, which meant being up no later than 11:30 so that I could do this stream. But then I couldn't fall asleep last night, which made me anxious about not being able to wake up on time. Oh, Charlie, I got some delicious food to eat before I'm going to take a nap. Plus, I'm powering through this soda. So we're good. We're good. But yeah, if you haven't baked chicken this way, I highly recommend. Thank you, Fonty. Oh, you're so sweet. I'm looking forward to you moving into the new place because I have missed you streaming. I need my Street Fighter fix. I need me some Chun-Li. I miss Chun-Li. I don't have Street Fighter. And the anime. Yeah, that's true. I have been missing anime lately. A lot. A lot. But I feel guilty because, like, for anime, I watch with subtitles. But it's kind of hard to watch with subtitles if you're also trying to be active in streams. So in order to watch anime, that means I have to be inactive in streams, which makes me feel bad because I want to support people, but people are always online. There's always someone. So do I try and tolerate dubbed anime in order to support? Or do I not support so that I can watch anime? Or do I just not watch? It's hard. And it's funny because these silly little things stress me out. I've been watching subtitle anime for many years. So to try and watch a dubbed anime is really weird. was gonna say, I know it's more than 20 years that I've been watching subtitled anime. I just like the voice acting better. Like, obviously in American voice acting, I can tell it's bad voice acting. Zesty, hello. Zesty, oh, we need to make our collab. I'm so looking forward to this. I apologize, Zesty. We're kind of at the end. We did baked chicken with Alfredo. It's delicious. I'm gonna overeat, I know it. With that freshly roasted garlic. So good. Some are good. Yeah, DBZ was pretty good. Full Metal Alchemist, they did a really good job on dub. Yu Yu Hakusho was okay. Bleach was okay. Yeah, the voices, some of them are just so bad. The later spins of Sailor Moon, yep. The original Sailor Moon is way better. Way better in Japanese. But I did grow up watching it dubbed, so I can tolerate it. But even Genshin, that voice acting was rough. And I know it's a free game, but man, the English voice acting is rough. Oof, pardon. So the Japanese is better. Like, it still gets a little grating at times. But I don't know. It's just easier to not notice. Inuyasha wasn't too bad. Wow, I am tired. There we go. Hayao Miyazaki. Hayao Miyazaki has been doing a lot better with his dubs. Especially since now he's paired with Disney. So they have a much larger catalog of voiceover actors and actresses. I still prefer Japanese. Again, I've been watching subtitled anime forever. Like, I even watch my TV shows subtitled. It drives people crazy. I don't like a lot of sound, so I keep my volume very low. And then I have the subtitles on. I haven't seen Gantz. I'll have to look for that one. Sorry, Kitty's here trying to beg. He's like, what? I'm just being cute. Oh, it's on Netflix. I'll have to look. A bunch of my shows started back up on Hulu, so I've been stuck in that hole. Oh no, nudity. Anything but that, Fonty. Yeah. Um, I don't know if it's an auditory processing thing or from DJing or what. I do have a bit of tinnitus, but I also have just kind of learned over the years I don't hear things quite right. It's okay, Jess. Hopefully you learned. If not, I can still walk you through it. I appreciate you. It's all good. It's delicious. Like, still do this because it's really good. I'm quite pleased with how this turned out today. I was afraid that with the oat milk it wasn't going to turn out very well. And I was also afraid that doing it live I was going to mess stuff up. But what was I saying? So yeah, something's not quite right and we haven't figured out what, because I do have some tinnitus, but not enough to make it as hard to hear as I have. So I've just learned over the years that I read lips. I'm not as adept as someone who's fully deaf and has been able to learn. But I do notice if someone covers their mouth like this and trying to see myself on camera, it drives me, I can't do it. It drives me crazy. Like, I understand what I'm eating, but that's why I try and just cover here so you can still see facial movements. But with masks on, I don't like it at all. And I feel bad because I'm constantly asking people to repeat themselves. I'm like, wait, what'd you say? I'm going over it in my head, trying to piece together what I think they said versus what they actually probably said in the context and based on the body language, the facial movements. Like I'm just trying to process everything at once to piece together what was actually probably said. Sometimes it's funny and I will share what I heard versus what I know they probably said. Sometimes I also have to like clarify. Yeah, I have a really hard, like, it's bad enough trying to speak through the mask, and I understand that. But not being able to see an entire half of the face. Um, so again, I'm not deaf, and I don't know that struggle to that extent, but I do understand to some extent because it's hard for me. It's really hard. And even back when I started working at the movie theater, people would get frustrated having to get out pencil and paper in order to communicate with the deaf community. And I would lay into them. I'd be like, absolutely not. Like, that is the least you can do to communicate with someone. Like, that it's just so rude to assume someone has to conform. I don't know. It just blew my mind, even back then when I was just a babe, that people could get upset that someone couldn't hear them, and so they had to write things down because they don't know sign language. Like, I can do the alphabet, but I can't speak sign language. I do want to learn because I know my hearing's only going to get worse. But thank you, Fonty. Go eat. Hopefully I gave you some good ideas. I appreciate the bits. I appreciate you hanging out. I look forward to you getting your new place so that we can watch you play. Oh gosh, I haven't been doing any of my shout outs. I'm so sorry, you guys. I got so excited about food. As what tends to happen. Oh my goodness. Jess, did you get affiliate yesterday? That should have been your last one, right? You don't get the chicken kitty. She's trying so hard, you guys. Yay! Okay, good. I haven't checked your page today. Like I said, I got up, I rolled out of bed. I'm like, Stell convinced me to do this because he was live. Jess is really fun. She gave me my own custom command and I didn't even have to ask. So go follow Stell, or not Stell, go follow Jess. Even if just to type in exclamation point Aaron. See, this is what happens when I'm tired. I can't keep anything straight. And I have food in front of me. And it's so good. But just let me know when and I will walk you through it again. Like, this is a very simple meal. Oh, it's so good. Just, it really is. It's such a good shout out. It's so cute. It's so you. Alright. I should stop eating on cam. Let's go raid someone. While we still have viewers. But again, I appreciate all of you guys hanging out. I think... I don't think I've rated him yet. Pixel Viking, hello. Thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. See if this is gonna work. Oh my gosh. So good. I have such a happy belly. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh man, he did. All right, then we'll read this other person. I didn't believe that he went offline, but he did. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That was so sweet to Stell the other day. It was really cute. So we'll go ahead and raid Mr. Ho Twitch. So thank you all for hanging out. I appreciate you. I appreciate you with the raids, the hosts, the bits, the subs. I appreciate hanging out. I appreciate all the chat. Zesty, Fonty, Jess, Stell, Killer Miller was in here, Pixel Viking with the lurk. Like, we've had so many people. It blows my mind. I hope you enjoy it. If you do, I'll try and keep doing it. I'll post pictures later. Show some love to Ho Twitch. He's awesome. Really good supporter. Always there for a lot of people. Charlie, thank you so much for hanging out. I love you to death. I cannot wait until all of your stuff arrives and we can stream together. Also, check out Charlie if you haven't, because she'll be streaming soon. And she's super fun. So thank you all again. I will catch you tomorrow. Time for this errand to go.